Styles of Fashion. Today's episode is going to be based on how to cut two pieces cape top, of which the top is not a normal cut together with a sleeve, it's a cape top, and there is a way it's going to be. So let's go to the cutting section. So I'll be using 3 yards of this fabric to cut it out. The first thing I'm going to cut here is the top. So I'll be folding this into 4 places. This is into 4 places, this is into 2, then into 4. The measurement for the sleeve, that's the length of the sleeve, is 20 inches and the length of the cape is 28 inches. This is 28 inches and this 28 inches is going for the front, while the back is going to be lower than this. So the first thing I'm going to take now is the length of the sleeve, which is 20, as you can see. This is 20 inches. The length of the sleeve here is 20 inches. So I'll be checking it out. This is my 20 inches. So with the seam allowance of 1 inch, so I'll be using 21 inches for the sleeve length. So the next thing that we need here is the neck. So I'm going to cut the neck first before touching the down part. So the neck, the wideness of the neck here is 3.5 inches. This is 3.5 inches. Then the deepness of the neck, which is the depth of the neck, is going to be 2 inches for the back. So then I'm going to connect my sketch. I'm connecting the sketch together this way. So for this top, the front is going to be a V neck, while the back is going to be a round neck like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to share the shoulder into 2 places like this. I'll be doing so for the second one also. So this is it. The next thing to do now is to trim this area out, because this is our 20 inches and plus 1 inch of seam allowance, make it 21 inches. So from here I'm going to trim it out. So after trimming it out, the next thing I'm going to do is to remove one out, the one I'm going to use for the back. I'll remove the one I'm going to use for the front out. So I'm using this for the front, so that means the first thing I'm going to do here is to lower the neck to be a V shape. So I'm going to let it be a V shape. So the deepness of the neck here is going to be 6.5 inches. So after that, you can see that I cut this way. This is a V neck for the front and this is the round neck at the back. So the next thing I'll be doing here is to lower the back. So by keeping this aside, I'm keeping the front part aside. So this is the back. The length of the back is different from the length of the front. So that is what I'll be doing now. So the length of the back here, I'll be using 22.5 inches with the seam allowance. You can see this is 22.5 inches. So from here I'll be making a curve like this. You can see it's going to be a curve this way. So this is the length at the back. So when you put a tape here, it is going to be 22.5 as well. 22.5 inches. So this is how the shape is going to be. So you can see the distance from here to here is different from the distance from here to here. So the measurement from here to here is 18 inches, while this is 22.5 inches, because this area is the one at the side. This is going to be at the side. That's why I curve it this way. So the distance is up to this area to this area is 10 inches, and this area to this area is 5 inches. So it's 5 inches difference from this place to this place because of this curve at the side. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut it out. So this is the back. So the next thing I'm going to do now is the front. So the next thing I'll be doing here is to determine the half cut. You don't want your navel to be showing, so you have to determine it first before you load the front. So the half cut I'll be using here, I'll be using 16 inches for the half cut. 16 inches for the half cut. So after determining the half cut, the next thing you're going to do is the wideness of the hole you're making at the front. It can be a hole, you can call it a hole, you can also call it it can be a cut, normal cut. So the wideness I'll be using here is 6.5 inches. Like this is the wideness here. So I'll be starting from this edge here, curve to this area. So I'll be starting from this edge, curve to this area like a love shape. So if you didn't see it properly, by the moment I cut it out, you're going to see the shape proper. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to cut it out. So this is how the front is going to be. You can see. So after that, you're going to introduce the back and place it on the front. So the next thing I'll be doing here, after placing the back on the front, is to ensure this area at the front, at the back, is equal to this area at the front. So that's why we're placing it on each other. Then, so the next thing to do now is to sketch it out. So I'll be starting from this point and sketch it a little bit. I'm not going to cut much out from the back because the back is longer than the front. So just this area, you can see it. By the time I cut it out, you're going to see why I sketch. So like this. So by the time I join everything, you see what I actually cut out. So the next thing that I mean here is to cut out the belt for the top. So this is going for the belt. The wideness is just 3 inches. You can see. So you can try to make your own belt wider than this, depending on how you like it. So now this is the back and this is the front. So the next thing, how I'm going to join it now is to join it this way. This way. Then I'm placing the back on it. first thing I'm going to do is to stitch the shoulder. I'll be stitching the two shoulder first. So this and the other one then. After stitching these two shoulders, then you bias the neck. After that, you tape. You can cut out the facing if you like. You cut this and use the facing to turn it, to turn the neck. Then after turning the neck, you're going to join the shoulder. But here, I'm not going to use any facing. This is how my clients want our own to be. So the first thing you're going to do is to join the two shoulders. After joining the shoulder, you bias the neck or you turn the neck. It depends on you. As me, you're using. If you're using a facing, you face the neck, and after that, you stitch all the edges. So you stitch all the edges. So after stitching all the edges, then you are done with the top. There is no side joining. There is no shape. There is nothing. So the next thing I'll be cutting now is the skirt. The measurement I'm going to be using for the skirt length, I'll be using 47 inches with the seam allowance. So I'll be deducting 2 inches up because I'm going to join back the 2 inches for band. So that means I'm going to be using 45. So after joining the 2 inches, it's going to give me 47. Everything is with the seam allowance, which is the same as sewing allowance. So the hip measurement is 44 inches, the waist measurement is 40 inches, the hip point is 9.5 inches. So that is where I'm going to determine my hip measurement. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold this fabric into 4. I'm using this fabric, I'm using 3.5 yards of this fabric to cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold this into 4 places, leaving zip allowance aside. So this is into 4 places. You can see this is zip allowance, 1 inch of zip allowance. You can see it. This is a zip allowance here. The next thing I'm going to do now is to take the measurement. The length of the skirt here is an high waist skirt. The length here is 45 inches with the seam allowance. So this is where 45 inches is. The next thing I'm going to do now is to cut the 45 inches out. So now this is 45 inches. Then I'm going to start the measurement. I'm taking 2 inches up here to determine the hip point. The hip point is 9.5 inches, like I said earlier. This is 9.5 inches. So the waist measurement is 40. This is a waist measurement 40. With the seam allowance of, this is 40 inches. The seam allowance of 1.5 inches. So the hip measurement is 44 inches. This is 44 inches. With a seam allowance of 1.5 inches. So I'm going to join the sketch. By the time I cut it out, you're going to see the shape very well. So after then, the next thing you're going to do is to cut it out. So from here to the hip point. Then from the hip point, you're going to cut it down. So this is for the skirt. Then after this, you're going to join the 2 inches of the band to it to make it 47 inches. Then the next thing to do is the sewing. So I'm going to keep this aside. So this is just a straight skirt. This is a straight skirt from the band to the length. You can see it. You can see how simple and straightforward it is. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out. The band measurement is 2 inches, so the half that is there I'm going to use for seam allowance, which is known as sewing allowance. So I'll be cutting this out now. So I'll be using this for the band. I'm keeping it aside. So to determine where the slit is going to be, the slit is going to be at the center of the front. So to take the measurement is 26 inches. 26 inches. So this is where the slit is going to start from. The slit is starting from this area, 26 inches. So with the seam allowance, I'll be making use of 26.5. So by the moment you tape it, it's going to jump to 26 inches. That's why I'm putting half to it. So then the wideness of the slit is going to be ½ inch. So by the time I cut it out, you're going to see what I'm sketching. So that is the front with the slit. This is where the band is going to stay, like this. Welcome back. Here is the finished work so far. This is 2 pieces skirt top with a straight skirt. You can see it. You can see how it is. You can see how beautiful and simple it is. This is the front. It's of 2 ways. You can either wear the neck like this or wear it like this. As you can see it on the picture. You can wear it this way or wear it this way. So this is the front and here is the back. You can see the back. You can see it. You can see the round neck at the back and you can see the fish shape at the front. So this is the belt. This is the without belt. You can see it's a simple cape without belt. You can start to attach it this way. You can see I only make a small stitch here just to hold the hand. You can leave it like that, but I decided to hold it here a little bit. You can see it. You can see it. Just a little bit here. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. Bye.